Hi guys. Okay, so I'm sitting here editing this and I need to hop on for a second because I'm low-key kind of pissed off. I still am like learning how to use this camera and I thought I had the autofocus on the whole time and I guess it just wasn't. So a lot of the video is out of focus and then the camera died. So some of it's on my phone, which is really cute, like the quality switch up, but like I said, give us some grace and some patience. I'm still trying to figure this out, but like I'm not about to fucking record that, and I hope that you guys like just, you know, roll with it. If you can't deal with the blurriness, go ahead and just skip through it, but in the next video it will be better. I will make sure that the autofocus is on. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast, episode 1, and I'm excited to keep doing it. Hey guys, welcome to the Personality Podcast, where we get personal and spill the tea.
Period.
This is our first episode. My name's Desiree. If you're new here, you probably are here from TikTok. I'm so excited to finally be doing this. I know I've been talking about it for months, and I was like, after the wedding, and then after my kid's birthday, and after this, and after that, because I'm a fucking procrastinator, and that's what I do. But I'm finally doing it, and I'm so excited to have a space to just be able to, like, be real and say whatever the fuck I want. With that, this is not a podcast for children, so preferably 18 plus if you're in here. Oh my god, I'm like out of breath, sorry. We just like ran to get Brian from school and now I'm like trying to get back into this. So yeah, if you don't like sex talk, if you don't like talking about vaginas, if you don't like a little man slander, this is not the podcast for you, babe, like at all. So today for my first podcast, I have my sister with me, Crystal.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Nervous?
Yeah, I'm sure. This is our, like, we need some patience and some grace because, again, this is our first podcast, and being the usual me, I wanted to do this like all by myself instead of just going to a studio that like has everything and then they basically do it all for you. I was like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm going to buy everything and I'm going to teach myself how to do this. So yay for that. Crystal's TikTok is crystal.westfall. So you guys should go give her a follow. She'll be posting some funny shit on there. But yeah, tell us about yourself a little bit. Introduce yourself.
Okay. I'm Crystal. I'm Desi's little sister. I'm the youngest of the 4 sisters that grew up together. We have 2 other sisters. Actually, no. Well, she has technically 7 sisters, and I have 6.
Fuck ton of sisters, bro.
Yeah, from her biological dad, and then from both our dads that we call dad. We have 2.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that in an episode. I recently found my biological father after thinking he was dead. Like, if you follow my TikTok, you probably know a little bit about that. Or if you watched my YouTube video, it's down now, but because I kind of like did a story time. But I want to do another, like, a full episode on that. And I might even like have both of my dads in it. I think that'd be like really cool to have them both in it and like have their perspectives on like the whole situation. But yeah, so there's 4 of us sisters, and then for my biological dad, I ended up having another sister, and then with my dad that like adopted me, I have 2 sisters. Yeah, which is her biological dad. He has like a stepdaughter, and then he had a baby recently, so we have a 1-year-old. Yeah, we have a 1-year-old sister. Isn't that some crazy ass shit? Like, we're in our 20s, and we have a 1-year-old sister.
For sure.
She's about to be getting lit with my kids. Like, that's so crazy.
Facts.
We're going to be old as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be like, we're leaving. Can you pick us up?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So, what's new with you? Let's get into your little love life. Like, what's new?
Not much is new, but love life. I don't know if you guys know this, if Desi's ever mentioned it, but
I don't think I have, yeah.
Yeah, my boyfriend is her husband's cousin. So
keeping it in the fan.
yeah, so that's been interesting, but
Yeah.
it's been fun.
He's Parker's little cousin. That's so
Little?
funny.
He's the same age as you?
Yeah, he is. I
You
thought
guys are-
Etienne was like 24.
No, you guys are like 6 months apart. He's 25.
I'm 26, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm almost 27.
Oh, so a year.
Yeah. But Parker's 33. So that's his
Yeah.
little cousin. But yeah, I remember meeting Etienne like actually not that long before you guys met. Maybe like only a year before you guys met. I had met Etienne. I think the first time I met him was like at a family reunion and I got him fucked up. I have like videos of him like scared to take shots with his sister. And like their other cousin Derek like was like on the bathroom floor and him and Parker had
Like
to like
throwing up?
Yes, he was so sick, bro. Etienne and Parker had to like carry him in there. And they just like dropped him on the floor. I was like, can we get him some pillows or something? Like this poor guy is like dying on the floor. So yeah, that was fun.
But yeah, I've been dating him for almost 3 years. It's been 2.5 years, actually. Love him. He's super cool, super cute. He's shy. But
Can you
that's
imagine
boring.
him on here?
No. He would fucking be sweating. His armpits would be fucking drenched.
Yeah, they're like the couples, so it's like kind of boring. Let's talk about something more juicy, like your first love. That shit was wild as fuck.
So,
Do you want me to share my perspective of it first, or do you like want to share yours?
first, I just want to say I'm 23 now, so I'm still young. So
Yeah, for sure.
This
But
was
you
when I
guys
was like
know
17.
how first love goes. Like, I think all of our first loves is like toxic and messy as fuck, honestly.
Yeah.
Mine sure was.
No, but I'm just saying that to let you guys know I was a dumb young bitch. So
Yeah, which we usually all are with first boys that we bring into our life.
Yep.
But
But yeah,
I mean,
what's your
like,
perspective? Let's hear it.
well, like, I guess when I first met him, I kind of just was like, oh, this is kind of weird that, like, my little sister's, like, fucking somebody, you know? Like, that's what was weird to me.
Amazon.
Yeah, it's my computer case, which I want to put on this, actually. Sorry, Amazon just got here. Anyways, so I definitely thought that was weird. Is he saying hi?
Yeah.
And then, like, you started to get, like, obsessed with him. Like, I came to visit, and you're like, I'm going to go be with, you know, I'm going to go be with
Oh,
you,
for
you know.
sure.
And I just was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm literally here visiting. And my dad was like, yeah, like, she really likes him right now. Like, that's just how it's going.
Really likes him.
Uh-huh. And then, bro, you really liked him at the time. You just didn't know.
No, I was manipulated.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. You were manipulated into
sure.
loving him, for sure. Well, I didn't know that at first, though.
Well, it was never love. Now
Yeah.
that I love somebody, I know what love is.
That's how I think too. Like, that's how I think about, like, my first love. But from an outsider, because I lived in Texas, so from an outsider, that's what I saw.
Yeah.
Like, you had met this guy, and, like, you were spending all this time with him, and, like, when I saw him, he seemed like a sweet, also innocent person until, like, I actually learned what the hell was going on, you know? So, yeah, then, like, I left from visiting, and I came back, and you would call me, like, all the time, and, like, you would tell me, like, oh, this is happening, or this is happening, and I would just be like, what the fuck? And then I would hear Dad talk about you doing this for him, and I would talk to you about it. I'd be like, why are you doing that for him? Like, paying bills and stuff. And you would be like, you would just always have an excuse. I'm like, what?
For sure.
But because you were manipulated into always having an excuse, because your excuses seemed valid.
Well, not only that, I don't think we had the best example growing up of
Yeah, for sure.
what a relationship should look like and what roles you should take in a relationship. So I don't think I knew how to move forward or how to act in that relationship. I had to teach myself. So, and I'm still learning to this day. But now the way I go about relationships and the choices I make, the decisions I make, whatever, are way different than I did back then.
And also not for sure. Also, just like first relationships are very, like,
Trial
they
and
can,
error.
yeah, they can just turn messy, like, really fast.
Yeah, lessons.
Yeah. Like, I don't know anybody that's, like, with their first relationship or that it wasn't, like, toxic.
For sure.
But, yeah.
You want me to get into it?
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell us what you want to tell us.
I'm trying to make it short and sweet. I'm not going to share any names, obviously. But
because you know who you are, beach.
fuck you, beach.
Exactly. Per.
Okay, so where do I start? So when I was 15, I lived here in Texas. I grew up here in Texas, and we had been, I'm sure she'll talk about it in the future, but we've lived in multiple states. We've moved high schools, middle schools, elementary schools multiple times. And I moved in with my dad at the age of 15. Previously, I had lived with my mom. And once I moved in with him, he decided he wanted to move back to Utah from Texas. And so I went with him. I started online school. Had never done that before. And just pretty much dropped everything and went with him. I left my sisters. I left any friendships I had, anything like that, and just started over at the age of 15, 16. And I was really bored because we're really close, all of my sisters and I. And over
You
that,
just were alone.
yeah,
Like, you had
over
nothing
that
else
period
to
of
do.
time, I kind of like lost my relationship with my family that I had here, which I didn't know how hard that was going to be. And I think I'll get into it, but I think that's why I made a lot of the choices I did, because I didn't have guidance, or I didn't feel like I had anyone to ask for advice, or I felt like I would be judged. I don't know.
Well, no. You definitely had guidance. You just didn't like our guidance
No,
at the
I
time.
didn't, but I didn't even ask. Really, did I?
Yeah, we just gave it to her. I remember calling you like multiple times and just being like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
Or because like my dad would call me and he'd be like, "Crystal's doing this," or like, "Crystal's doing that." And so I mean, I don't think that we didn't completely have a relationship. Like we talked. I
No,
think we
yeah,
talked
not
more
saying-
than like the other ones.
No, we
We
were so
communicated.
we lived with each other.
Yeah.
We were with each other every day. And then all of a sudden I moved to Utah and I talked to them a couple times a week. For me, that's weird. For some people, that's not. But when you see someone on an everyday basis, talk to them literally all fucking day, and then you move to another state and then don't talk to them really at all, that was like,
Yeah, we definitely slowed down the talking, and like you just got unsolicited advice from us, basically. And she was just like so in awe that like you didn't really want to hear it.
I think
that
that
all of
happened
us
towards
go
the
through
end
that.
of it. Once I spilled
yeah.
everything, because then there was things that were happening that I didn't share, which obviously I regret now, but I didn't know like it was bad. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I didn't even know that was toxic. So I'll just start getting into it.
Yeah,
So
just
basically,
like give Cliff Notes because that could be like 10 years long.
yeah, facts. So basically, I moved to Utah. I got a job at the mall at a pizza place, and that's where I met this person. And we pretty much immediately started talking, probably after 3-4 weeks of me working there. And I had never had a boyfriend before, and this is the age of 16, almost 17. So that might be weird for some people. I think it is kind of not weird, but it's not.
She was definitely a late bloomer compared to all of us sisters.
Yeah, especially having your first boyfriend at almost 17.
Yeah,
so.
I already had a baby by then. Like, so did Betel. Like, both of her older sisters had babies at that age, and she was just getting her first boyfriend.
So I got my first boyfriend alone in a new state. My sisters were not with me. They really didn't get to see anything about this person because I'm sure if they were around me, I probably wouldn't have dated him at all. But anyways.
But also, it was like the friend group, too, that attracted to you. They were like girls in the friend group that she could click with and like just people your age that you could like chill with and like you can connect with. I think that's really what like pulled you to like want to be with him.
Yeah. So, everyone acts perfect in the beginning too. So I think that's where I was, I guess, manipulated. So we started talking, we started dating about a month after meeting. So kind of quick. in my opinion. Had a really good time in the first like 6 months. I noticed in the beginning what I now see as toxic behavior. Back then I didn't.
Red flag.
Yeah, like controlling behavior. And then as time went on, it got worse. So basically, my dad sold his house, and we moved into a new house, and he basically moved in with us.
By himself. Like,
and paid
no one
nothing.
told him to do that.
Yeah. Well, his excuse to me was his home life was really toxic, which it was, but that's not my problem. Now I know, I
17
realize.
years old especially. Like,
For sure. So for me to take someone in and then help them, and same thing, my dad didn't really say no. So I felt validated in doing that when I wish my dad would have said no. Because, but you know, it's, Jesus, my throat.
you need some water.
It's mainly, I don't know, should we get water? And put them right
Do
there?
you want some? Wait, go grab some water because I have the computer.
I'll be right back.
Pause.
Okay, I got my water. Little ASMR moment.
I low-key kind of hate that shit.
Really?
It makes me cringe, yeah.
Okay, anyways, moving on. So I kind of forgot where I left off, but anyways, once he moved in with us into this new house, I didn't know he was moving in. He kind of just stayed for like 2 weeks and then like stayed for a whole year and a half. And he told me the reason he didn't even ask to move in or anything. He basically told me he was having a really toxic family life at home, and I felt really bad. And so I was like, oh, just stay here. Like, you know, you can stay here for a couple of days whenever you need to, whatever. And my dad is really laid back, so he didn't really have an issue with it. I had my own job. Not that I feel like my age justifies that, but I had my own job.
Also, it's just like dad's personality.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't, like, he's our dad. Like, he takes care of us if we need help, but he doesn't parent us.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. He definitely is too laid back, in my opinion.
I think he's always been so laid back because our mom has always been so extreme.
Well, and he's just
Like-
a laid back person in general. So anyways, so he didn't really say anything, and he kind of just said, yeah, don't worry, he can stay here. And so he did, which ended up being for a year and a half. During this year and a half, it was extremely toxic. He became super controlling, told me what I could and could not wear. Bro, I promise I'm not going to cry. It's my fucking, I have a sore throat. Because fuck that bitch. Anyways.
We're past that.
So yeah, it was really toxic, really controlling. Told me what I could and couldn't wear, when I could go out, whatever.
Who she could talk to. Like.
And it got worse and worse and worse to the point where I was like, okay, hold up. So I started to talk to her first about it. And immediately she was just like,
What
you know.
the fuck
is
going on?
You kind of were gentle at first.
Yeah, I wanted to be supportive because, like she had said, she had basically cut us all off. So we weren't really getting like anything out of you. And then when you started to like open up to me, I was like, okay, because I'll get into like my toxic first love. Nobody could tell me shit about that. Like,
Yeah.
It was beyond toxic. And like, I remember when my friends would try and tell me stuff, or like my family would try and tell me stuff, I would just be like, fuck you. Like, you don't even like, you don't understand. Like, it's my life. And so I knew that was going to be the reaction that I was going to get out of you. So at first I was like trying to be supportive with it until it got like way too far. Like when you were like, you didn't have any money because you were paying all his bills.
Yeah.
And like shit like that.
I think that's where it kind of closes out.
Yeah.
So basically how it ended is, through all this toxicity, is it got to a point where he couldn't keep a job.
Or he didn't want to keep a job because his bills were being paid.
He couldn't either.
Yeah, true,
One
true,
time
true.
he got, I don't even know if this is true because he's such a manipulator and a liar, but he told me he got fired from a job for punching like one of the supervisors in the face, and they fired him. But that's the kind of shit I was dealing with at the age of 17.
And like, didn't he get like a new car?
Yep, he got a new car, which he couldn't afford, which I didn't want him to get a new car. I told him get a used car. Like, you're fucking like 18, 19, like barely can keep a job. Like, get a fucking used car that you can afford, like I did in that time. So he didn't.
Yeah.
He went and took a loan out for like a $20-something thousand car that he couldn't afford, and my dumbass helped him pay for it multiple months. Literally, the majority of his bills were paid for by me for a while. I would say for like 5 months straight, and that's when I was over it because I was only 17. I wasn't making a lot of money. Luckily, my dad was only making me pay for like small bills, so I could, I guess, afford to pay for those. With nothing left over. Like, at the age of 17, you're supposed to be shopping, going to concerts, and having fun, whatever. I couldn't do that because I was basically taking care of a fucking child.
Well, a grown man, like a man-child.
So...
Well, that's not the end, though. Like, that wasn't the conclusion.
No, the conclusion that happened is towards the last 3 months, this is fucking wild.
Yeah, so this shit is crazy.
Throughout our relationship, I had heard rumors of him having a baby, and I never took it serious because
like from their friend group.
Yeah,
basically.
they would tease him about it and blah blah blah, and a few of them didn't actually know the truth, and some of them did. And so anyways, one day we were at McDonald's, and this kid that wasn't really close friends with him, just went to his high school, came up to him and was like, "Hey, how's so and so, and how's your baby, blah blah." And I was like,
bitch, what the fuck?
And his eyes got super big, and he was like, he went off on him. He was like, "Why the fuck would you say that, blah blah blah?" And I was like, a person that's not lying wouldn't have a reaction like that. So I was like, oh no. So I did my little FBI research, and I found the girl that he was talking to and that they were all talking about, and I messaged her, and I said, I'm his girlfriend, like, we've been together this long, so-and-so. I've heard rumors that that you guys had a baby together like 2 years ago or whatever. And she was, at the time I sent that message, I think it was like 18, and she was maybe a year or two older than me, so like 19 or 20, same age as him. And the baby was probably like a year and a half old. This baby looked fucking identical to him.
Twins, bro.
And he was trying to deny it. Like, it's funny.
A little brown, short little baby.
Yeah. So at this point, she had no reason to lie to me. Like, she had a whole other child and a new boyfriend. Like, she basically told me she fucking hates him, that he, like, ruined her life, and that all the stories he was, like, telling me about it, how, because he admitted to me that he dated her, but he told me that she was crazy for saying that they had a baby.
That's what they
whatever.
always say. The other woman, she's crazy. Don't believe her.
And he would tell me all these stories about how she, like, pulled up to his front door and blah, blah. Anyways, so that's when I started getting skeptical, went to her. She told me everything that happened, and I confronted him, and he immediately denied it, started crying like a fucking weirdo.
Little bitch.
And
like, oh, you're caught now.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, don't leave me, I'm gonna kill myself. Blah, blah, blah. That bullshit.
I think that men literally have a chip in their fucking head with all the same petty ass excuses when they get caught in lies. Like, oh my God.
My toxic home life.
Literally everything. Like, it's like always the same excuses. Anytime I've gotten into an argument with a man, it's always, I'm gonna kill myself. And it's like,
I was told that multiple times. It's just funny now because obviously he wasn't suicidal. I know that's not funny.
Like, that's how you know for sure he was like a narcissist, because that's what they do. Like, I'm going to kill myself. Like, it's going to be your fault. Like, I'm going to kill myself and you're going to feel bad for the rest of your life because I'm dead.
They're just doing that to manipulate you to feel scared so that you won't move forward and leave them. So anyways, so once I confronted him, he denied it, blah, blah, blah. That's when we started having really bad issues. I couldn't trust him. I was tracking, what was that? Oh, it's blue.
Oh, that's the dog. God. Sorry if you can hear that.
Bro, she has ghosts.
Yeah, we have, like, we swear that there's a ghost in my house, but to make ourselves feel better, we say it's the AC.
Yeah, done this 2 times already, and in the previous video recording, you could hear a baby crying. What fucking baby is here?
So I swear to God, sometimes you can like hear footsteps, and I'm like, guys, it's AC, like no problem. Anytime my sister comes, like if we go on vacation, Parker and I, she'll like come watch the boys. She sleeps on the fucking couch downstairs, which is terrifying to me because I have like windows all around. And she's like, I feel better like sleeping on the couch because your house scares me. And I'm like, in my head, it's the AC.
Bro, they're probably telling me to hurry the fuck up and finish my story.
Sorry.
So let me finish it.
I know. That's like a bad thing of mine, like interrupting.
No,
or, like,
not you.
sidetracking.
Me too. I sidetracked too. So anyways, a lot of, like I was saying, a lot of our issues started getting even worse. And so
he hit a baby.
Yeah. So I couldn't trust him. I was tracking his location. Not going to say how he did it because
that was crazy.
What if I do it again?
Fuck. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
She would tell me all the time.
Yeah.
And
so
I was
I
like,
could
bitch,
see
how the fuck did you figure that out?
So I could see where he was going all the time. I could see if he was at work, which he wasn't. He wasn't at work. He would lie to me and say he was at work, but he was really at home in my room playing fucking video games.
At our dad's house, bro. Like our dad's house. She would be at work.
Yeah. So basically during that time I was getting fed the fuck up, and so, but I was still at the same time naive and young. So at the same time I still was like, oh, I wanted to work out, but I was like, no. So I
think another thing is like, because again, our upcoming like relationships were just like in and out in our lives. Like with the first people that we were with, it was like, we're not going to be like that. Like, we're going to stick through this shit. Like, we're going to fix it. I think that's why we were, like, so fucking
But I knew that
stupid.
he wasn't going to be the person I was going to
Yeah, I knew that, too. I knew that, 100%.
When we were in the relationship. Like, I knew that.
I knew that in the relationship, and that's why, I mean, we'll get into mine, but, like, that one stupid thing that made me leave, I just was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucking wasting my time.
Yeah. So, I basically went to my sisters and told them what happened and my dad, and they told me, they're basically freaking out. Like, they were like, what the fuck? Like, I explained everything that happened. My dad kind of knew a little bit because obviously he lived there, but he had moved to Texas for work the last few months, so he didn't realize how bad it was. My other sister was living in the house with me, but our relationship was kind of strained during that time, so I couldn't really come to her. So I came to them. I came to my oldest sister and her, and I remember when I told Vettel, she like just busted out crying. She was like, "What the fuck?" Like,
no, that's not what happened. I'll tell you what happened.
Oh, I think you told Vettel,
first.
and then Vettel, but I called Vettel, and she had already known.
Yeah. So Crystal had called me and like told me the extent. I already know he had like a baby. I knew you were paying his bills, and like I knew he was like telling you what to wear and stuff. But then you told me he got like kind of physical with you, and like. I kept it together like when I talked to you, but then I called Vettel and I just like told her, and me and her just like lost it. Cause what the fuck? Like our baby sister is like physically getting hit on. Like that's some crazy shit. Cause like, I mean, I don't want to put her business out there, but she and I both had like gone through similar situations like with our first people that we were with. So when Crystal told us that, we were just like
shook.
Yeah. We were like, what the fuck is going on over there? And especially because if you were in Texas, we can pull the fuck up. You know, like we have no problem doing that. Like we'll handle it, or like we'll go get you. But she was states away, like by herself. So we were just like, okay, you need to come to Texas. That's when I was like, no, bitch, like it's done. Like you need to leave. So that's like exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Like she just like packed what she could in a suitcase and she came to Texas.
Yeah. Well, first I broke up with him, and then he kind of agreed, and I was like, what the fuck? But actually, no. I gave him an ultimatum, which is stupid. Never do that. Just fucking leave. I basically said, the only way I can move past this is if you prove to me that this is not your baby. I want a paternity test. I literally asked it. Never asked for it. He freaked out, and that's why he was okay with breaking up, because he didn't want to take the paternity test, because he was going to have to obviously step up and
be
probably
a dad,
pay
child support.
So... because he wasn't on the birth certificate. There was no evidence linking him to the baby.
Just like word of mouth, basically.
So obviously he's going to tell me no, whatever. And this is kind of psycho, but also the reason I know it was his baby is because one time I was at his house and they had like a family computer that they all used, and his older brother was logged in to his Facebook, and I know. it's kind of like,
who cares?
Whatever.
Like, he fucking deserved everything.
So I went into his messages, and I found a message of him messaging that girl, the baby mom, and he was like, when am I going to see my nephew? And blah, blah. And I was like,
wow.
what the fuck? It like confirmed it for me, basically.
His brother wasn't any better, by the way.
Hell no. Even worse, probably. Or just as
no, bad. At least he owned up to his kids, even though he was having different ones.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were just a bunch of fucking fuckboys.
Like, literally fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, their parents were like they were like first generation. Like, their parents were like immigrants and shit.
From Peru.
And like, they just totally fucked that.
Yeah. So, anyways, I gave him an ultimatum. He obviously didn't want to, or he didn't say he didn't want to. He was just like, yeah, whatever, and then never did it. And
he probably just didn't believe that, like, you would actually
like, yeah. And I kept bringing it up, and nothing happened. So, and I had kicked him out multiple times, but he, like, I had no one to like help me kick him out, so he would just come back. I had no way of like actually keeping him out, so he just came back. And then one day, that's when I was like, I don't know what else to do. So I told everybody pretty much everything. I told my dad, and he was pissed, and not at me, like at the situation. He was like trying to calm himself down and was like, do I need to go back there? And I was like, no. I was like, I just want to come home, like, so bad. And he was like, okay, I'm buying you a ticket. And so he bought me a ticket for literally the next morning. He stayed on the phone with me for like 8 hours, or not 8 hours, for like 4 hours at like 4 a.m, because I was so scared to like leave. And
yeah, we would be on FaceTime like for hours. And like, so anything. We wouldn't even talk sometimes. Like, we would just be on FaceTime. Yeah. Like, doing our normal shit.
So then I decided I wasn't going to take... Actually, so before that, I decided I was going to drive because I had a car and I wanted to bring it with me.
Yeah, so that shit was stupid as fuck.
I tried fucking driving, but my car
broke down.
Had like an oil leak.
Bro, she broke down in the middle of nowhere.
2 hours and broke down in the middle of nowhere. And guess who the fuck I had to call because my sister was getting surgery. I had to call his fucking dumbass because his friend group was my friend group. So I called my friend group and he came.
Bro, I remember, like, you called me. I think I was with Parker for sure, and I was like, this bitch just broke down in the fucking desert in the middle of nowhere. Like, your location was barely working. You're like, my phone's about to die. Like, we were just like, fuck.
I was stressed. I didn't call him first. I called the friend group, and then he came. So, anyways, then he came. He got there.
Of course, he was like, oh my God, she's shut down. Like, let me hop in this car. You guys are going to go save her.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
So they did. And it was like I'm repaying you kind of thing. No. So we were fine. We weren't like fighting or anything, but I was so ready to leave. And because at that point we had come to a mutual agreement that it was time for me to leave because obviously he didn't want to take that fraternity test. Yeah. So I got out of the car and this is too funny. They were hooking my car up onto the trailer and he was letting me hold his phone as a flashlight. My Face ID still worked for his phone. I slid that bitch up. I went to Snapchat. He was talking to this girl, like, for months while we were dating, too. I kept finding out more and more shit of just fucking bullshit. And then I grabbed his phone and I slammed it on the ground. I think it cracked, which he fucking deserved. And I was so mad that I was like, with his friend in the front seat, like, screaming, like, so fucking mad, like, crying, like, whatever. So his friend, like, I don't want to say his name, but he's super cool. Like, we don't really talk anymore, but he was really cool.
I never trust guys' friends.
He's not friends with him anymore.
Yeah, I remember that guy who you were talking about. And he was like trying to be like all
and he was
sweet
trying
and
to
shit with
he
you
was trying to
after,
like he took me to the airport after that and whatever. So anyways, he turned up the volume so that I could like scream and cry in peace or whatever because I was so mad. And then he's like, you know what? He's like, it sounds like you guys need a little bit of alone time. So he stopped at a gas station, got out, and let me chew his ass out. I've never like actually went off on somebody like that. So I had the opportunity to fucking talk my shit, which I'm glad I did because I don't regret that at all. I don't regret anything I said. I don't give a shit. So anyways, then we drive the 2 fucking hours in silence back to my house. They drop me off. I leave my car. I call my dad, like freaking out again because I had found that out and it was like fresh on my brain. And he's like, I'm buying you a ticket right now, the next ticket to Texas. And so that same guy that I'm talking about, he picked me up again, took me to the airport, and I haven't been to Utah since. Or I have been to Utah once, but I I
like
had
to get the
it
rest
took
of your
me
shit.
yeah, it took me like a while to be able to go back. And then once I got here, I was just like had nothing. I had no money, no job, no nothing.
She like lived with Parker
And I like lived with them for like a couple months.
We had an apartment downtown Dallas, like a high-rise apartment, and it was pretty tiny.
Yeah.
Like,
and she had just had Oliver.
Yeah, I had just had Oliver. And she like took over Oliver's bathroom, and she was like in depression mode, and so she would be messy as fuck in the bathroom, and we kind of just were like, you know, she's going through it, yeah. And she would just like be on the couch. I mean, I was on the couch with you. Like I had just had a baby, and like I also was like in depression mode. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like I just had this baby. Like postpartum. Yeah, I just was like not happy. So we both were just like this, like but on the couch all day.
Immediately got so much better. So that's why I knew like I had made
the right decision.
For sure. Like my life immediately had all that support again.
That's why like I could never like leave Texas, like leave my family.
Well, I've thought that too, but I think it's just making sure you're surrounding yourself with people who will support you in times like that.
Yeah,
because family I also just think could be toxic.
Like, and family can definitely be toxic, but if you have like good family members, like I mean, obviously, like I get into it with my sisters, but you guys are still good family members. You know, like or dad, he's still a good family member. Like if I'm gonna fucking say, if I only had mom here, I'd be like, fuck that. Like, I'm fucking leaving. I don't give a fuck. But I have people that I can rely on here. So it's like, leaving Texas just seems like, why the fuck would I do that? Like, obviously, unless it was like a crazy job change for like, that was like gonna better for my family, I would discuss it. But if it was just because we want to be on the beach, no. I'll fucking fly to the beach. I'm not fucking moving. Hell no.
Yeah. So, moral of the story is be cautious. I know, especially if you're younger, I mean, I don't want to blame it on my parents, but that's kind of just what it is. They didn't teach me what to look out for. I didn't know what was right or wrong. I kind of had to teach myself. My sisters, obviously, I watched them go through a lot, so I should have known better.
Yeah, but it's not like I mean, you would think that we would be better examples because you watch us go through this shit, but it's also just like...
Yeah. You have to go through your own...
yourself.
You have
because
to go
even though we
yourself.
all went through crazy shit, like even Tati, like it was still all so different. Like all so different.
Each scenario that we've all been through or that we have each been through is so different from the one before, so...
Yeah, like... I got fucking pregnant.
At least I never got a fucking baby out of it.
Yeah,
I was crazy.
I was always asking you like, are you fucking using condoms? Are you fucking using condoms? Like, get on birth control. Are you using condoms? And you're like, yeah, we use condoms. We use condoms. So I was like, okay, bitch. Like, you have a baby, you're fucked. Like that's the last thing.
I can't even imagine. My life would be so different,
bro. I can't even imagine you having a kid now. Like, by your age, I had both my kids already. Vettel had 3 kids by your age. Yeah, so, like, there's 4 of us, and 2 of my sisters don't have kids, like Crystal and Tati. Tati's the one that's older than me, and then the oldest, Veronica, she has 4 kids, and then I have 2, which is fucking crazy. So, yeah, that's Crystal's first love story, and now she has Etienne.
Yep.
Which is like complete 360.
Bro, you have no idea. Yep.
Like
I made a 360. So yeah, I don't know. I learned so many lessons throughout that. So it is what it is, but definitely do not fucking recommend.
Yeah, she was like, I'm never fucking getting married, blah, blah, blah. And now we're like, okay,
that
when's the wedding
situation, I will
bells
say,
gonna be? It definitely like fucked her.
It fucked me, and like after that, I had so much hate for men. I'm not even gonna lie. I still do, just because I feel like we get done done more dirty than they do, than we do them, because we're the ones who have to mother the kids and, just are expected to
like,
take care of a lot more.
Like there are like obviously men out there.
No, I'm talking about the majority.
Yeah. Like look at Dad. Like Dad's like full-time dad.
But you know
like,
how rare.
No, that's what I'm saying. There definitely are men. Like we don't want to shit on all men. We want to shit on shitty men.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
like our dad is doing the damn thing. Like he's literally a single dad to a 1-year-old and his ex-wife's daughter. So it's like,
Yeah.
and even me, like I'm not his biological daughter and he's never treated me any different. But I mean, there are men out there.
Yeah. And we're going to call them the fuck out.
Yeah. We're going to
I
call
love
them
doing
shitty
that.
shits. How about that?
We're going to call them
talking about
shitty shits?
We're talking about the shitty shits today.
All right. So what about you?
Dude.
Kind of give me the same energy I was giving.
Except mine is like fucking like who's gonna die today. Okay, so for mine, it's like kind of really different because I ended up having a baby, which like adding a kid in is like
Changes it completely.
Completely changes everything. So for mine, I know a lot of people would consider. Should I name him?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna call him.
You can if you
I'm gonna
want
call
to.
him N from Buffalo. You know who I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people would consider him like my first love, but absolutely not. Like I literally was like 12 years old. That's just like he's a really cool dude. Like I do love him and his family, but like that it's just not what I would consider like my first love.
Yeah.
I would definitely consider that like puppy love. So when I moved from Buffalo to Texas, I think I was like 12 or 13 when I moved back.
Mm-hmm. Like 6th grade.
No, I was going into freshman year of high school.
Oh, we moved back again. See,
eight-
that's how many times
Yeah,
you fucking
we've moved a lot from like Buffalo and Texas. No, I was in 8th grade going into freshman year of high school. When I still lived in Buffalo, I started talking to this guy online that lived in the area. I'm not going to bash on him too much because it's very obvious that it's Brian's dad. Like I can't even like go around it that much. But just know we've definitely grown over the past lot of years, like 12 years that I've known him.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. You have to remember the ages that this happened. She was like 14.
Mm-hmm. So Brian's 8 years old. He'll be 9 in June. And I was with his dad for a few years before that, kind of. Like it just, anyways. So I had started messaging him on Facebook because I saw that he was hanging out with like people that I know. I can't really even remember who it was, but I think it was just like one person that I knew. So we started messaging on Facebook and I moved to Texas and I went to a little party with my friends and I saw him there and he acted like he didn't know who I was, even though we had talked for like months. And I just was like, oh, fuck no. Like, you're not about to fucking do me like, guys don't do me like that, okay? Like, you're not about to fucking act like you don't know who I am. So he was with like 3 of his friends. And when we were all leaving, I just like called him out and I was like, you're really gonna fucking ignore me? Like, you've been on my fucking dick for months since I lived in New York and I moved to Texas. And he was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So he started talking to me. And then from then it was on and popping, boy. Like, we were like literally 2 peas in a fucking pod. In the beginning, it was fine. But then, like, he was older than me. He was like junior, senior, and I was going into being a freshman. And so, which meant he was also hanging out with like junior, senior girls. And shit just like would start to piss me off, like when they would go to parties and stuff like that. So I would argue with him. We would fight, like literally fight. And we like broke up and he was going to move to Puerto Rico. And the day before he was moving back to Puerto Rico, he came to say goodbye and mom was at work. And so we fucked. Like literally, I remember
plain and simple.
It was Thothy's birthday, 2012, literally. And I got pregnant. So yeah, I got pregnant and I like didn't want to tell him because I was pissed as fuck that he was leaving. And I was pissed as fuck that I was pregnant because, I mean, obviously it was my fault too. But like, I just felt like, what the fuck? Like, you know how, you know, like, he didn't like fully, you know, do the thing in me, but obviously something got in there because I got pregnant.
Yeah.
So I kind of just was like, why the fuck wouldn't you tell me that like you pulled out too late or whatever? I just was like really annoyed with him. So I ended up not telling him I was pregnant, and I tried to like hide it for as long as I could. And then I'll talk about that, like how I found out I was pregnant, whatever, like another episode with one of my friends. It's also like a teen mom, or she was a teen mom. Sorry, I'm like out of breath again because I had to change the camera. God. So yeah, I ended up having to tell him I was pregnant, and we did all that shit, blah, 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 blah. I had not Oliver, I had Brian, and that's when shit got really fucking crazy. We would break up like every week, like literally every fucking week we would break up. I would go back to mom's, or I'd go, if dad was in Texas, I would go with dad. Like I would go with Bettel. Like I was constantly like, oh, we lived with his mom, by the way, because he didn't want to go like get an apartment and shit. Yeah.
Oh, and our mom is.
Yeah, I for sure wasn't gonna live with my mom. Yeah. But like we would get physical, like we would fight, like fist fight each other. I would like just like insane, but like my breaking points, this was my breaking point. Like he would always be under the influence. You know that. Mm-hmm. Like, and I have nothing against being under the influence. Like I am
well, depending what it is.
Well, a flower. Let me say that. Like anything else is not for me. Like,
yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, but he was under the influence of flower is what I'm talking about right now. Yeah, like he definitely had other issues, but that's like gonna be I'm gonna get into that. So for my breaking point, oh my God, I need to take a breath.
You could put it in there.
I know. So he was literally always under the influence, and it just like we had just had a baby, and I just was like, what the fuck? Like we should be we would go look at apartments in Irving and shit, and like we would end up never going through with shit because he could never keep a job. Like he just wanted to smoke, like he just wanted to be high all the time. And so we had a birthday party for me, and he like showed up high as fuck with one of his friends, and I was just like, fuck, yeah.
In Kelly?
Yeah. And I just was like, fuck this. Like, this is fucking crazy. Like, our baby is here. Like, this is my birthday. He showed up late as fuck to my birthday. And so I ended up like telling him like, you need to leave. And they didn't have a fucking car because do you guys like this ever have cars? No. So he didn't have a car. So I ended up having to leave my birthday party to take him because he was like, I just didn't want him there. All my family was there. My kid was there. So I took him, and in the car, he was like gaslighting the fuck out of me, like making it seem like I was crazy. Like, why are you tripping? Like, blah, 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 blah. And I just like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I ended up like kicking him and his friend out of the car. And he was like still in the car, like in the door, yelling at me. And so I was just like, I'm going to run you over. Like, I swear to God, if you don't get out of my fucking car, I'm going to run you over.
I didn't know it was this day.
Yeah, it was on my birthday. Damn. And so he like kept arguing with me, and his friend was, I don't know what the fuck his friend was on. Like, it couldn't have just been weed. Like, it had to be something else because he was moving.
Xans. You can put
they were on bars, yeah.
Most common
for
bars.
sure. Bars, yeah. His friend was moving like a fucking sloth, like getting out of my back seat. Like, he was acting like getting over a car seat was like him trying to get out of fucking, I don't know. Like, it was ridiculous. So I was like, get your fucking druggy ass friend out of my fucking car. He was like trying to get him out, and his friend wouldn't get out. And so he eventually got his friend out, and then he came back to like try and argue with me on my side. I literally pushed on the gas so fucking hard that like I hit them. Like, I don't know. The back door was still open. And his friend, you know that TikTok where it's like, Wayne said, blah, 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 like, fuck me. And they're like, what'd you say fuck me for? That's like what I imagine his friend was like. He was looking at me like, what the fuck? So yeah, I just left them. Like, I literally left them on the side of the road in Roanoke, Texas. If you know where that is, then you know. It's like literally
in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere, like farm town. And I went to his mom's. I started packing up all of mine and Brian's shit. And again, this is like my 100th time doing this. Like, I do this all the fucking time. or I did this all the fucking time. It's like kind of my coping
mechanism.
Yeah. It's kind of just what I do, like run away from it because I'm like, fuck you. Like, you're not about to get me in a fight with you. I low-key still kind of do that with Parker. Like, I've definitely got better at it, but it's not even just Parker. It's like people in my life. Like, I just like run away from it because I'm like, what the fuck? You don't deserve to like get my blood pressure up. Anyway, so I went to the house. I started packing up all my shit. He shows up in the middle of me packing and starts crying. I'm going to kill myself. What are you doing? And he just was like, you're really going to do this? Like, you're really going to do this? And I was like, yeah, fuck you. Like, I'm really going to do this. And like, I could tell he could tell that this was like my breaking point. Cause he was like, what? Cause usually he would just like, let me leave. He'd just be like, okay, she'll be back. Cause I would be back. I was fucking coming back. Mainly because I felt so fucking stuck. Cause I was like, where am I going to go? My mom's? No. Like, I'm not going to go to my fucking mom's. Crystal's mic just fell. But the difference this time is that Dad was back in Texas. Like, if my dad's there, fuck you. I'm going with my fucking dad. Like, if I didn't have Dad there, I definitely wouldn't have left. Like, I wasn't going to go to Mom's again. Like, there's no way. Yeah. So I packed all my shit. My dad lived across the highway. I went to my dad's and he was like texting me like, okay, are you guys going to come back home? Blah, blah, blah. Nope. The next day I went and got an apartment. I got a job. The job that I got, I ended up meeting Parker at, which is fucking crazy. Like, apparently I can't be single, but whatever.
That's how I feel.
I know. It's low-key an issue that we have.
Yeah. I mean, I was single all the way until 17. And then...
Now it's like attachment.
Immediately, as soon as I got out of that relationship, I was talking to somebody else. And then maybe 6 months passed, and then now I'm in the relationship I'm in now. So I haven't been single for longer than 6 months since the age of 17.
Right, yeah. So I think I was single for like 4 months, and I was going out, dude. Like, I was... Yeah, I was fucking going out. Like, me and Vettel, like, we were walling out a little bit, honestly.
And you weren't even 21.
Yeah, I wasn't even 21 yet. I was with Parker my 21st birthday. But dude, fake IDs back then were so much easier. Like, so much easier to get away with. Like, I've had a fake ID. I had a fake ID from like the age of like 17. I had no issues. Actually, bro, I got caught one time with Parker.
Really?
Did I tell you about that?
No, I got caught too.
Yeah.
They didn't take it away though.
He straight took mine away. He like basically detained me.
Wait, you did tell me that.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you going to fucking take it or not?
Oh, yeah. I was like almost 21. Anyway, so I went and got my own apartment. I got a new car. I got a new job where I met Parker, like I said. And like when I first got that apartment, like I would let him come and like we would like try and do family shit, like take Brian to the zoo and shit and be like, okay, like we're going to work on this. And I was just like, fuck no. Like, I would beg you to get an apartment. And instead we stayed at your mom's house because you wanted to do drugs. I would beg you to get a new car. Instead we never would because you wanted to stay and do drugs. And then when I did it by myself, even though it was fucking hard. I just was like, I'm not I would do that again in a fucking heartbeat. Like leave like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't care if it was like a different lifestyle change. Like, I did not care. I will do it all by myself. So yeah, that was some crazy ass shit. But like, to go back to the time that I got caught with my fake ID, this was like Parker and I's like second date. Like, it was on Cinco de Mayo. It was like one of those holidays where like you drink margaritas or whatever. We went to a taco place in Grapevine. It's closed now. It was called El Taco H. And we were drinking fucking margaritas. And this big ass guy came and fucking tapped me on the shoulder. And he was like, let me see your ID. And I have an attitude, okay? Like, you're not about to just fucking talk to me. So I just was like, who are you? Like, why the fuck would I show you my ID? And he was like I'm undercover cop or whatever. Like, it's Cinco de Mayo. Like, we're checking IDs for people that look underage. And so I just was like, well, you caught me. Like, I didn't even give him the ID. I just like, well, you caught me. Like, I wasn't going to fucking lie. So he was like, let me talk to you outside. He took me outside. He tried so fucking hard to get me to snitch on Parker, bro. He tried to get me to tell him that Parker bought me the alcohol so that Parker could get in trouble for buying alcohol for a minor. And I was going to be 21 in like 2 months. So again, I have a fucking attitude. I was being so fucking mean to him. I was like, I bought the fucking alcohol. Like, go look at the camera footage. I think I did actually buy the drinks though. Like, I don't know. Like, I think I did hand her the cash. So I was like pretty confident. I was like, go look at the fucking cameras. Oh my God. So then he just was like trying to scare me basically. And I was like, okay, are you going to give me a ticket or are you going to just like stand here and like lecture me? Like, what are we doing here? And then he just was like, well, because you're going to be 21 by the time you have to go to court, this is kind of pointless. And I was like, so you just had me out here for 45 minutes trying to get me to
Mine's kind of similar.
Get him in trouble for buying me alcohol and you couldn't even do that. Dude, I had the biggest fucking attitude. I just like, what the fuck was the point of this? Like, I'm going to be 21 in 2 months. Mm-hmm. Or around there.
Well, damn. Wait, you want to keep going with your story? Did we end
Not really. I feel like I could go on for like years about that shit.
We'll come to a conclusion. How did it end?
Oh, the conclusion is like we started doing family shit and I was like, this is not what the fuck I want. Like, hell no. Like, I got a taste. I tell Parker all the time, like, you caught me right before my hoe phase, bro. Like, you literally, like, that week, I was about to go pop my shit off, boy. But yeah, I just was like, ugh. Like,
yeah, it's not what you wanted.
No, like, not
when
at all.
You'll know. Like, if you, I would.
But I
ask
also
myself,
had like already felt like that in the relationship.
But you had to ask yourself, like, can I see myself with this person like long term? And immediately, if you say no, just fucking end it. Mm-hmm. You're wasting your fucking time. You could die the next day. Like, come on.
Literally. Okay, y'all. So to conclude our first episode, I wanted to keep it a little softer for the first episode. The next one, the idea that I have is a little more wild. So if you guys are down with that, then yeah. But to conclude the episode, I asked you guys to send me in like your own personal like tea time stories because at the end of every podcast I want to like read 1 or 2 of them. So yeah, some of you guys sent me in some wild ass shit, like I'm not even gonna lie, and they're hella long, which I love, so I'm only gonna be able to read like 1 or 2 or else this is gonna take forever.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We were reading some of them in the car. We're not even gonna read some of them because some of them, the people were so stupid in the story that like we don't even want to comment.
It's just like, okay, this is one thing. One thing that I can't get with is you being proud of being like a side bitch. Like, I just can't get with that. Like, I can't. Like, I'm not going to condone that because it's not fucking cute.
Oh,
like,
or
it's not cool.
Or a bad parent.
Yeah, it's just
choosing to be a bad parent.
Yeah, it's just like, it's not my shit. I'd like tea times where it's like, oh my fucking God, bitch, I'm so sorry that you went through that. Or like, wow, what the fuck? But where it's like, what the fuck? Like, you're just like fucking a married man. I'm going to do a whole episode on that shit, actually. And I'm going to spill some real fucking tea on that, boy. Anyways, so I'm going to read some of you guys' stories. And yeah, keep sending them in. Like, I love your guys' stories. So let's read this first one. Let's see. Also, I'm obviously not going to share any names or anything like that. So you don't have to worry about that. I've had a few girls be like, I want to send something in, but I'm so nervous. Like, bitch, there is nothing to be nervous about. Like, at all. I would never, ever share
it's
like
life.
your identity.
Shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to judge you. The whole point of this is to either give you advice if you want it or if you just want her to react. So.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the first one. Okay. So she said, OMG, I cannot believe I'm about to share this story, but oh well, LOL. So when my now fiance started talking, when we first met, we weren't serious. We were just hanging out / talking to each other here and there. I also had just ended a relationship with a long time of 4 years, but we were still hooking up even after breaking up. He was away at college, but when he was in town, we'd see each other. But I was also talking to my now fiance. So I hooked up with my old fling one time, because I started having feelings for who I'm with now, and I wanted to take us serious and see where things went. But then I went to the doctor for an OB visit and found out I had chlamydia from my ex.
Oh, fuck.
Damn, bitch. Down bad. Down bad. But my fiance and I had slept together a little after I hooked up with my ex. Don't judge me, LOL. So I gave my fiance chlamydia. Bitch.
Damn. That's a worse fear.
But because I liked him so much and didn't want to scare him off, I blamed my fiance that he gave it to me. Bitch. Okay, wait.
Why'd you do that?
No, listen, it's not the end of it. She said, he eventually found out I lied and we broke up for like 3 months, but things ended up working out because 5 years later, he's my fiance. Damn, bitch.
Wait. So he knows now?
Yeah, he knows. He found out and they broke up for 3 months.
So do you guys just laugh about that you gave him chlamydia?
Or is that like a really big trigger for him? Like, you get me fucking chlamydia, bitch.
Like, it'd be awesome if you guys could, like, tell that story, like, at a family gathering.
Like,
that'd be...
how does it happen with guys when they get chlamydia?
Like, it's the same thing as if it were herpes. Let's say a girl had herpes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know how they get it, but like...
Oh, what is it like for them?
Yeah.
Red, it depends.
Like itchy?
Red, itchy. I think chlamydia is one of them where they can even have like green pus come out of the tip of their penis.
Oh my God.
And then it burns to pee and...
Like a UTI kind of?
Yeah. Like for us, our discharge changes...
Wait, how the fuck did he figure out that you lied?
He probably has symptoms.
Yeah, but I mean...
Oh, that she...
Yeah, that she gave it to him. I guess maybe because he wasn't sleeping with other people. So he was like, there's no other way.
Yeah, she probably just admitted it.
3 months later. I'm glad y'all are back together, though.
Yeah.
And you guys can laugh about that.
No, I hope you guys can laugh about it. Because that's all you can do now. That's all you can do is just laugh about it. Especially if you guys are together and moved past it. Hopefully you moved past it. You can just laugh about it.
Damn. That's some crazy shit.
Damn.
Okay, this one's long. So I'm only going to do 2 because this one's like hella long. Okay. Let me catch my breath. Okay. She said, hey girl, so this is my story. So I had a really good childhood and what I thought was the perfect little family. My mom had my youngest brother when I was 10. I am now 18. My dad was always so supportive at the time. My mom's best friend, we'll call her Rose, was also really supportive. She threw a surprise baby shower for my mom and was my brother's godmother. I considered her an aunt because she would always come to our house on the weekends and me and her kids grew up together. At this point in time, we would spend every holiday together and we were basically a family. I feel like I know where this is going. Dad's about to be fucking the aunt or something. They're like a whole family, don't even fucking know it, living together and shit. Hold on.
Wait. What if the kids are...
Oh, okay, hold on. Wow, that's fucking crazy. Okay. We would spend every holiday together and we were basically family. Unfortunately, Rose could not get pregnant because there was an issue with her husband's sperm. But one day she got pregnant. Oh, I think you're right. I think it's the daddy's baby. She told my mom instantly and we began cheering for her because we knew how much she wanted another child. A couple weeks in, we would talk about the new addition to the family all the time and how excited we were. Sadly, she had lost the baby and we were all devastated. Months passed and we supported her family because we knew that's what they needed. When we got news of her eldest daughter getting pregnant, so that sparked a light in what was once a really dark tunnel. And then one day, me and my mom were planning to go to the city with the family, but my dad didn't look so happy. My mom and dad went to go to talk in another room when I suddenly hear a shrieking cry. Oh, God. It sounded like the life had been ripped out of my mom. She came downstairs bawling her eyes out, and when she spoke, it seemed like she could barely get the words out. He was with her the whole time. What she meant by this was my dad had been having sex with Rose for 8 years, ever since the baby shower. The baby shower of her brother, like the mom's baby. Rose threw her a fucking baby shower, was fucking her husband. It says, we found out that my dad had sex with Rose in our house when we were asleep. He would bring her over when my mom was gone for business trips, and they would even meet in the middle of the day at a gas station to have sex. The cheating was so extensive that they would have code words that they had created to communicate with each other in secret.
Oh, hell no.
What the fuck? Oh, and remember when Rose was pregnant? That was actually my dad's child.
I knew it.
Or my unborn half-sibling. My house gets turned upside down as my mom tries to unpack the last 8 years in which her best friend and husband have had a secret life. Yeah, they gotta go. Dirt nap. Dead. In my fucking house.
For 8 years?
8 years. Like, we're spending holidays together. Oh my God. I'm like literally getting chills on my arms right now. Like, that is fucking crazy. She said, no one in the house sleeps nor eats for the next 24 hours. The next morning, my dad wants to kill himself. He tells, bro, back to that little chip that's stuck in men's head that's like, I'm going to kill myself, is in that fucking folder. Shut up.
Whenever they make a mistake.
Literally, shut up. Like, shut up. Anyways. My dad wants to kill himself. He tells us that he's been thinking about shooting himself from the moment he told my mom. Of course. Why didn't you think about shooting yourself when you were fucking her? Why is it after you tell your wife? Anyways. We have 2 guns in the house that we had to remove from the premises. And we had to call crisis because my dad already struggles with anxiety, and we wanted to see if hospitalization would be the best option. There's not much that has happened after that. It's been over a year since the incident. Dang, this is still like kind of fresh.
Dang. Wait, so she's like 19 now?
I don't know how old she is. Didn't say her. Did she say her age?
She said she was 18 when her brother was born. Oh, no, she's much older then.
Oh, she says, I am now 18. It's been over a year since the incident, and we have moved from the area and gone on with our lives, and our families have never talked since. It was crazy, but this is my story.
Wow.
Damn. Bro.
That's like
dirt nap material.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking have to go. Like,
I hope that your mom doesn't still have a relationship with either one of them. I
no,
mean, if she does,
that
not
she
her.
hasn't talked since.
Oh, okay,
Our
good.
families have never talked since.
Yeah. They don't deserve to ever have her back in their life ever again.
Wow. I'm just like stuck at how they were she was sleeping in her house for the weekends, like holidays. Like, she planned their baby shower while she's fucking her husband. People are so fucking foul, bro. Like, that is crazy.
I know. At least fucking divorce her. Like, if you want to be with her, like, just be like, you know what? I'm in love with Rose. Like, I'm leaving. But you wasted a big portion of her life.
You gotta be so much of a little bitch that instead, like, you can't. What the hell is Brian doing up there? You can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, I think that men straight up think that they can have their cake and eat it too. Like, women don't think. I mean, obviously there are certain
but
situations where women do think like that. But like this is a marriage. Like, what? Like, I understand when you're seeing different people, you know, like whatever, do what you want to do. But a marriage, your best friend's husband? Wow, bitch, you're foul as fuck. So yeah, that's today's episode. Like I said, I kind of wanted to keep it a little more chill, if you will, a little more low-key before I get into like craziness, like
wild
real
topics.
personal, like real shit. But I am totally open to suggestions if you guys have any, like anything you do want me to talk about. I know like a lot of people have been talking about like how it was to be a teen mom and like, shit like that, which I'm totally down to do. I have like a list of things that I want to record with like certain people. But yeah,
So who's going to be in your next episode?
I don't know yet. I think I was going to have who, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll do it by myself. I don't know. We'll see.
Damn.
Yeah. But send in some more stories. Like, send me in some more stories. Because, like I said, at the end of every episode, I want to read, like, one or two of your guys' stories. And, I mean, it could be for advice. I'm not, like, the best person to give advice, honestly, because low-key, I'm still going through my own shit all the time. So, but
She's just going to be like, fuck that beat.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to be like, listen, what's her address? Like, let's pull up right now.
I'm not like that. I'm more, I'm kind of similar in that way where I just kind of
okay,
like,
yeah, fucking right, bro. Anytime we go out, you're trying to pop off. Like,
no, I mean advice to like, do I take my own advice? I'm not going to say whether I do or not. But am I good at giving people advice? Yeah. I can stay
I mean,
neutral.
I'm good at giving advice too, but sometimes I can eat my words because, like I said, like I have my own shit going on too.
We're all human.
Like, yeah, like I mean, I definitely can give you advice because I've been through a lot of shit, boy. Like I definitely have, and I've learned a lot of lessons.
You know who would be really good at giving advice? Dad.
Yeah, so I definitely want to have Dad on here, like to go over my finding my other dad story.
Yeah.
And to, like, I kind of want Dad to spill some of his tea because
that should be our the next episode.
Yeah, our dad has like mad tea, bro.
Nobody has a crazier life than this
him.
Man.
It's fucking crazy.
Like to this day,
you think he'd be down to talk about who?
Yeah, as long as he doesn't have to say any names. Just tell him that. Just be like, you don't have to say any names. Or maybe give us some more time.
Yeah. No. Because do you know what I'm talking about?
Can you beep it out? Oh. Yeah, he would.
Yeah, I think he would too. It might actually be kind of like therapeutic for him.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I thought you were talking about like current.
Fuck that bitch. Anyways, yeah. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, thanks for coming. I'm like, you're welcome. Thanks for coming. She'll be back. Trust me, she'll be back. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. Like I said, give me some grace. I'm literally learning as I go, because I'm fucking crazy and I like to teach myself shit when I really just don't need to do that. I make shit complicated. But yeah, thanks for listening and we'll see you or you'll hear me, I guess, if you're not watching it on YouTube, in episode 2. Bye, guys.
Bye.